take a look at some of the journals and take a picture of something, and then take it home and try to paint it. We haven't done much.
Oh, your journal.
Yeah, these journals.
Yeah.
So can we stay just a few minutes after to do that?
Yeah. Oh, you're fine.
But I want to wait and watch your penciling, so penning.
It's like dry, dry, dry. And that's what I'll get my 005 pen for that.
You started by putting the flowers first, or the vase, shall it?
I started with the flowers. And I always try to make the flowers come down at least 2/3 of the page so that your vase and flowers aren't half and half in your composition. I didn't mention that earlier. We'll talk about composition too, and focal points, and but what I want you to do with this week is just learn how to control that brush. Practice wet on wet, practice layering colors, let things dry, come back, add color. Just play with it.
In this book.
Mm-hmm. Or on those sheets of paper. Now next week, if you'll come with either, if you want to use my paper cutter, you can use that, or if you leave me a sheet of paper, then I'll have it cut for you when you come. Or you can fold another journal. You can have a different journal for every week. However, whatever's most comfortable for you. If you like doing the little, I think having these, like this as it helps me know what we did in lesson 1, how far we got. This dry brush. What? Can't spell brush. Wet on wet. Hard edge blended. Layering. Okay, so what I did today is I just went back, and so this was showing layering. I will let one area dry while something else was being painted. This was a hard edge, then I added water to it to create a soft edge. This was dry brush. This was wet on wet. This was controlling, dark to light by adding water as you go. This was exploring wet on wet. This was controlling your brush strokes, comparing pin points, making a key, and water flowers. So we actually did a lot, although it doesn't look like it. Okay, so here I can do it with my tiny pen if I want to, because with my tiny pen, if you screw up, it's tiny, so you don't see large blobs of black. So what I want you to pay attention to, though, is when I create these flowers, I'm not going to outline every one of them. I'm going to make a suggestion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pick one that I think, I want this more to be my center of focus right in here. So I am going to just create a curved line to indicate the edge of the vase. I'm going to just do some wiggly lines to create some texture where the flowers are. Do I care what color, what kind of flowers they are? I don't care. I'm not worried about what kind of flowers it is. So I'm going to indicate, maybe a little bit of the leaves up here. I don't even care if it's not outlined every place where there's green. I think it's fun to be able to create lines even where there isn't paint. And So you can do little loop-de-loops or curves or whatever that almost like your hands shaking when you paint. And, or if you want a rose-like, then you do a kind of a swirl. See, like that? That gives you a look like a rose. And that might be.
It dries, right?
Oh yes,
Yeah, 'cause
yes.
I'm over here and it's not.
If it's not dry, don't do that.
Yeah.
But do you see how adding just a tiny little bit of line, and I'm not worried about it being exactly where the paint is. But it's really fun. There's several things that I've done where, ooh, I didn't like it because, and then I added the the pen, and I liked it better. Here's a field of flowers where the back was wet on wet, and I did a lot of blotchy colors, and then came in with green and made more of strokes. But then that's sort of like a daisy. I purposely put some red darks inside some of the others. Did swirls, little. It's fun to just create something. You can, like, here's a cat that's wet on wet. That's totally different. And here's a cat that's realistic. So I saved the white on that one.
You
And
added
then
pen to that also?
I added pen to that. You see the teeny tiny pen? And the white pen was added where her whiskers are.
Oh.
See, right in here is white pen.
Because that'd be too hard to save that way.
Oh yeah, you don't want to fool with that. Now that's pen. Let's see what else. But anyway, well, thank y'all for being here today, and I hope it's enough to get you excited about trying different things, and play with it, have fun with it, and don't be worried about the total outcome. That it's going to be miraculous. By the way, to find my YouTube, it's just go to YouTube and then type my name, and you'll see my little face. And